Big data has gotten too big. Whether you're a B2B marketer or a consumer brand, your data needs to be viable, relevant, and accessible so that Stirista can help you retain customers, acquire customers, and make it personal.
Welcome to the Marketing Stir podcast by Stirista, probably the most entertaining marketing podcast you're going to put in your ear. I'm Vin, the associate producer here at Stirista. The goal of this podcast is to chat with industry leaders and get their take on the current challenges of the market. And we'll have a little fun along the way. In today's recap episode, we revisit guests from Season 2, featuring Meg Ugenti, Corporate Director of Marketing at FocusUSA, Dale Durett, VP of Partnerships at Bombora, and Chip Russo, CRO at Truthset. Give it a listen.
Who are a lot of B2C type marketers, but for myself, I have to put my B2B lens on. So for us, and the way that we've really been marketing Focus is creating a two-way conversation with other marketers in the industry. What's trending? What's not trending? What are the conversations that people are having? So I started a group called Coffee and Conversions, which you are very familiar with. And we put on that live event either once a month or once every other month. And we just bring marketing leaders together to have a conversation. What's going on in marketing? What's the topic of the day? The more you know, and the more you have those type of conversations, the more you're then able to coordinate your content around it, coordinate your new product development thoughts around it. So I think for us, it's really having a pulse on what do people care about? What are the conversations they're having today? And what impact can that have on tomorrow's conversation, right? Which is really the core of data and analytics as we know it, right? So we follow a lot of our own rules there. We also do a lot of, I think about a lot of the new clients that we're working with. And again, because our business has evolved over the course of the past decade into what it is now, a lot of our new clients are really coming from referrals. They're coming from a lot of us really investing in bringing our clients into the conversation around a lot of our content creation, bringing our clients into some type of loyalty program that incentivizes them to talk about us and refer us to people they think might be a good fit. So that's been a really good way for us to kind of bring in a lot of new clients. And then we practice what we preach. You know what I mean? We do a lot of our own data and analytics. We do a lot of our own direct marketing services to bring in that ever-flowing inbound lead gen flow.
That's awesome. Nothing like inbound leads coming in, right?
Absolutely.
So Meg, one of the things about our industry is the space can get or feel pretty saturated, and it's hard to distinguish yourself because there's so many companies basically saying they all do the same thing, and we face the same thing. But how do you differentiate yourself from others?
That's a good question. And I get asked this a lot, especially heading up new business development. You have to kind of put your stamp on, well, why do I need to work with you instead of company X, Y, Z? And what it really comes down to is we actually pre-qualify a lot of the clients that we work with. We do a lot of custom work for our clients. And our goal is really, if you're going to work with us, how can we as marketers and strategic partners make your life easier? And with marketing, personalization and customization and timing and how quickly things change, when you're looking at large projects, especially around brand messaging or around bringing in new clients or whatever the goal or the KPI of that marketing campaign is, what we really try to do is create a really truly custom turnkey solution to where it's going to be easy to implement, easy to track, measure, optimize. And we're really making sure that we're measuring how we're going to meet those KPIs or reach those goals that your marketing team is trying to accomplish. And in order to work with somebody like that on that type of level, we really do become that extension of their own team, which means that we have to have the same type of value set. We have to have the same type of way of thinking how we're going to reach those goals and be open to that type of two-way communication. So because of that, I think that the lifetime value of a lot of the new clients we're bringing in has just skyrocketed. And that's really our biggest differentiators. We're really positioning ourselves as how can we make your life easier? How can we give you the insights that you need to go in and make actions and figure out what your next campaign then should be?
Yeah, I mean, I think, for us, it's what's really exciting at the moment and a big focus is, we're a data company, and we are really focused on providing additional insights on that data. So we have a big focus on visualization, and we have a couple of products that we've rolled out that have really been well received in the market, that are not just data products, but the ability to visualize that data in different ways, and really bring value to it. And we're looking to roll that out in a more meaningful way. So that's been a really big focus for us. And then, as I mentioned, the cookieless side of things, and looking to activate in other channels is still top of mind for us. So there's a lot of focus on additional match keys outside of the cookie, and how we pull in segmentation against that, and then omni-channel activation. So I'd say the insights, and then further building out our match keys and our ability to activate omni-channel are key focuses for us.
Dale, I want to stay on that topic there, because it's been a large topic, at least for the last year, and then it's kind of like, well, cookies going away. I've never spoken about cookies more in my life in this last year, and been on panels, and it seems like it's coming out, then it's getting moved. Just give me your overall thoughts on that, and how as much as you can, share with us about the new release, how Bombora is going to be attacking that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's definitely been a conversation I think we were all talking about, and it has, ever since the Google announcement pushing it back, definitely hasn't been top of mind. I think everybody was fairly exhausted, but we haven't lost focus on that at all at Bombora. And, I think it's very dependent on Google in terms of ultimately the decision they make, and how they go ahead with the ability to build audiences, especially for third parties. I think first party is fairly well understood. So, I think we're very much involved and following what's happening on that front, and seeing what's happening there. And then, we've been working closely with some of our partners, like LiveRamp and the Trade Desk, on terms of understanding their authenticated unified IDs. And then some of our other partners, like Live Intent and Load.me on the more probabilistic side. So, we're definitely looking at both what's going on at Google, and then, what's happening in terms of, the ID space. But so that's kind of the external. And then internally, we're very focused on finding additional match keys outside of the cookies. So we're doing quite a bit of work on hashed emails and maids, each with their own nuances. And then the other kind of unique area we're very interested in is IP, given that we have an ABM focus. So we're doing quite a bit of work there. And then the other area that we're really interested in, and we have a unique kind of a play with, given our B2B topic taxonomy, is contextual. So, we are breathing a bit of a sigh of relief with the pushback, just because we want to make sure we can stand these opportunities up with scale. But we are working on a couple of different avenues that we feel could replace the cookie in time, and continue to activate audiences for our customers at scale with quality data sets.
We believe that accuracy should be the standard, really, right? So I don't think at this point, given the fact that there's now a tool in Truthset to be able to measure the accuracy of data, I think the standard should be the most accurate data that you can use, right? Like, I don't think that we're going to have any policy, participation necessarily, but we do want to be the arbiter of truth. And so as it relates to standards, we'll let the government groups do that. We want to just provide a tool of transparency and a standard of accuracy.
Chip, let's go back to, I love what you said there, the data collective. Talk to us about that initiative.
So the data collective is essentially that. It's a group of the leading data providers, and what we want to do is provide them with the opportunity to have insight into their own data. Like nobody's data is perfect. Everyone, has somewhere where they're stronger, some areas where they're stronger than others. And so what we do within the collective is provide that feedback and that strategic insight. We also give them that independent verification, right? So the stamp of approval. If there's a number of bad actors out there, then the pricing for data is sort of a race to the bottom, right? I mean, if you can add multiple attributes to every record that you have that are conflicting with one another, and the buying community can't tell the difference, then they just buy it and hope that it's factored in, and then it takes it takes trial and error versus having a third-party independent body that can say, this has been verified. This is a partner that cares about data quality. And then we also provide them with insights into how they index against the larger group, where their ranking is within various attributes. So it's a really fantastic sales tool where they can utilize and say, hey, we're in the top 3, or we've been in the top 3 for the last 3 quarters in such and such a category. And so I think it's really beneficial for the data providers to be able to have a marketing tool that they can utilize. There's additional value in promotion, whether it's press or whatnot. And then that independent voice weighs in on M&A and all sorts of things, really. I mean, I don't know if you saw Futor was acquired earlier in Q1 this year. And in the article that I was reading, one of the reference points was that the data collective that Truthset put together verified them and verified their data to a certain degree of being a high performer and, in a certain section or whatever. And that made an impact on that overall decision. And so I think there's a lot of value, whether it's in the buying community, the major holding companies sort of leaning in and saying, well, are you part of this data coalition? If you are, I'm going to move you over to a special matrix so that our buyers recognize, that you care about quality, which we've seen happen in multiple cases. And ultimately, it's just I referred to it earlier, but rising tide raises all boats. Like that's the initiative, and we want to be able to provide as much value as we can.
Thanks for listening to the Marketing Stir podcast by Stirista. Please like, rate, and subscribe. If you're interested in being a guest on the podcast, please email us at themarketingstir@stirista.com. And thanks for listening.